Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? Jared Fuller here. Today is Sunday, December 3rd, 2017. The first video update for December of this year, and it's the last month of the year already. Doesn't seem like it's December already. Time just really flew by. Dad and Amy, they're just getting out of bed, and I just spent an hour doing a test video. Good morning.
Yep.
There's a pot of coffee out there for you. I already had a couple cups. I'm good to go. I think we're getting low on creamer, though.
Nicole wants to go to St. John's and pick a fancy.
She wants me to go to St. John's?
Pick a fancy.
Why?
Bring them out here.
At her house.
At her house. That's the gas.
Because they're raising a heck. Linda and them are raising hell because of the fact that he's at the nursing home with Carol.
Oh, I didn't know Carol was in St. John's. I don't know. But anyway, I'm doing okay. How are all of you? There's a few things to talk about. So last week, actually, before I get to that, there's actually a couple of big, important things I want to bring to your attention. I think is very important and very enlightening. So today, my warrior brother Finn is 3 years in remission of his cancer. And yesterday, my warrior brother Camden was declared 2 years NED of Wilms tumor. So, yay for my buddies. Congratulations, Finn and Camden. I love you both so much. And I am so happy that your journey through this this battle has been victorious for you, that you have been able to make it this far, and you're still with us, and you're still smiling, and you're still doing the things you do. Jer Bear loves you both so much, and I'm just so happy. That makes me so happy knowing that there are other warriors who have fought that fight, and they are still with us today. And I just love you guys. So congratulations on your victories. So that's probably the biggest highlight of my weekend, is knowing that a couple of cancer warriors are still on the rebound from their battle with that disgusting monster called childhood cancer. I spent the weekend, well, part of the weekend, at my buddy Jake's house. I've known him since 1990-something, when we were kids, and we were in first grade together. So we go back quite a long time. I stayed at his house on Friday night. Woke up Saturday morning, and his kids come out and said, "Can you go with us up to Pintown Lanes in Chesaning? We're going to have a bowling tournament this morning, and we want you to come and watch us." So I came back home. I stopped at McDonald's and got breakfast. Then I came back home, made a pot of coffee for Dad and Amy. Then I think I left again. I know this is only yesterday, and I forget what happened yesterday. But I made a pot of coffee. I know that much. I made a pot of coffee, told Dad, hey, I got to go up to Pintown. Adam and Eric want me to go up and watch them bowl. So I went up there and watched them, and had pop and pizza and sat with them at the table. And I made a new friend. Her son is on the bowling league it's for youth bowling league. And we had a nice conversation about money, politics, government, just life in general, the single life, because she's single and she's raising her son by herself. And of course, I'm single, no kids. But it was nice. It was a nice conversation. And it wasn't one of those conversations where, na boo-boo, I don't like what you have to say. No, it was actually a productive back and forth, and it was nice. It was very constructive, and it was interesting to listen to the opinions of somebody else who agreed with me on a lot of different things. So it was a good weekend, partial weekend. But of course, the biggest highlight is knowing that a couple of cancer warriors are celebrating milestones. So I may or may not come back to that throughout the remainder of this video, but it is just really, really just uplifting for me. It's very enlightening that a couple of kids are doing okay. Camden, he had a Lightning McQueen cake. And I don't know what Finn's doing today. I'm pretty sure they're going to celebrate with a cake or do something. I'm sure I'll see pictures because I talked to Finn's mom quite a bit through email. And with Camden's parents, I do Skype. And, so I have the connection. Somehow, some way, I'm always keeping in touch. And I got a phone call last night from one of my friends who live in Colorado. She also had a son who had cancer. Her son's name is Chase. She called me up last night just to tell me that, Chase is wearing his bird shirt. He wore it like 2 or 3 times this week. And he loves the shirt. And to me, that makes me happy too. So that's another highlight of my weekend, is knowing that I got a phone call from her. And while any outside observer would say, well, that's all she called for? Well, to me, that's everything. Because of the connections that I have with those people. It's a very personal connection. Us warriors of childhood cancer, we stick together. I mean, may not always be the case, but for the people that I've actually talked to one-on-one, whether it be phone call, whether it be email, text message, I have a very strong friendship and a connection with them, and we understand each other on that personal level. And the same goes with, there's an advocate for DIPG. She lives in Texas. We've become really good friends. I'm trying to get her to call me, but she's very self-conscious and very self-aware about how she sounds on the phone. And, she talks fast, or she sounds different from her voice. But to me, none of that matters. I just want her to call me. So if you're watching, I know you're subscribed to my channel. I know you're watching the video. Please call me. Please. Pretty please. Pretty please. But yeah, I'm trying to get her to break out of that shell. So what's the story with you today?
Nothing.
You're just sitting here listening to me ramble on?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice.
It's nice?
I said it's nice.
What's nice?
You talking
Oh.
to people like that.
Oh. Well, that's very uplifting to know, too. So the Christmas holiday is coming. Everybody knows. And yeah, people have asked me, Jared, when are you putting up your Christmas tree? I've gotten emails and text messages through the roof, if you can imagine. I don't think we're putting up a tree this year.
We don't have no room for one.
Yeah, like Dad says, we really don't have room for a tree, but we haven't put up a tree in, I don't know, I'd say a good 15 years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And a lot of it has to do, it's not just because we don't have the room for the tree. We just don't have room for Christmas spirit.
Which company's yours?
I've talked about this a lot. In last week's video, I talked about it. It's just the idea that it's Christmas. We don't have our spirit anymore.
Take that one out. Yeah. We're done with you, that.
Okay, give each other sugar. This will go on the Sunday video update because everybody can hear your voices and hear the lip smacking from the good morning kisses.
Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
That was Amy. She says, good morning, everybody. And Dad says it's nice that I talk to my viewers and the people who are subscribed to my channel.
Yeah.
Compliments are always nice and they're free. Don't cost you a thing. But back to what I was saying about Christmas spirit, I think it's just the older you get. I mean, your viewpoints and your opinions change so much. not everybody has it as good as the person over here who, they get to see their grandkids often. They have relationships that are still holding on strong. Their families are together a lot. That's not the case for everybody. And I think that's where the Christmas spirit for most people kind of just peters out, because there's really no point in being happy-go-lucky about something, or at a time when you are supposed to be happy-go-lucky and joyous. And it's not to put a downer on Christmas, because I realize a lot of you love Christmas, and I think it's wonderful that you love Christmas. But for those of us who kind of don't share in that sentiment anymore, and it has nothing to do with religion, of course. It's just, it's not anything, to do with religion. It's not anything to do with presents and decorations and cookies and a tree. It's the sentimental part of it that we focus on. It's the sentimental part of it that we focus on. Because you're supposed to be happy-go-lucky, and not all of us are. We can understand how you are, and all we ask in return is that you kind of understand why we're not. But, it is what it is, and we carry on, and we pick up, and we get on with our lives. And we just do what we have to do. But, my cup's getting kind of low. Hey, Dad. Father Fuller, is there any coffee left?
Yeah.
Could you give me a warm-up? I think we're getting low on creamer, though. I didn't buy a big container of it. I just... Yeah. Is there any milk?
Yeah.
Regular milk?
Yeah, there's a little bit.
Well, I'll just drink it black, then.
Yeah, there's enough for milk for you and I.
Okay. Oh, and I got this Burger King gift card in the mail yesterday. There's $15, so I can get all hog wild on Whoppers. I love Whopper Juniors from Burger King. I get their combo meals. I don't know. Some people like their onion rings. I love their French fries. Just say good morning. They see your arm, so just kind of wave or whatever.
Morning, people.
It is.
Afternoon, people.
Oh, it is going on noon. I lost track of time. That's okay.
Yeah, but I don't sleep well anyways.
Well, neither do I. I don't sleep. Well, you guys went out last night though to karaoke.
Yeah, we did karaoke.
Dad likes doing karaoke. It's something he's always enjoyed doing. For I'd say the past 14, 15 years, you've enjoyed karaoke.
I got karaoke machines.
He's got a karaoke machine. He's got CDs. He likes karaoke. It's something he likes to do. So, much the same reason that I enjoy poetry and journals. Oh, and speaking of art, tonight is the 50th anniversary special on CBS of The Carol Burnett Show. Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, so be sure to check your local listings. Are you going to watch it? The Carol Burnett special? I love Carol Burnett. Of course, I wasn't around to remember The Carol Burnett Show. I wasn't born yet.
What channel is that on, Jerry?
CBS, be Channel 5. Well, for us, it would be TV5, WNEM. For my viewers, CBS could be everywhere. But I don't remember The Carol Burnett Show because I wasn't born yet, obviously. But I do remember Mama's Family, which was a spin-off of the variety show. And for all of you young'uns who don't know what Mama's Family is or The Carol Burnett Show, Carol Burnett is a comedian, and a very talented one at that. She played a lot of different parts on her variety show. She had a whole bunch of different celebrities, anyone from Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne, Jim Neighbors, Don Rickles, Lucille Ball. I mean, she had everybody on her show. And she was, she's known largely for Broadway musicals, because she used to do a lot of musicals on her show. But she played a whole bunch of different sketch characters. And one of my favorite sketch characters of her, of course, would be Eunice Higgins, because Mama's Family is based on the family sketches from her show. So the Carol Burnett Show, the original run was on CBS from 1967 until 1978. And, of course, Mama's Family was the spinoff, which was on from 1983 until 1990. Carol Burnett reprised her role as Eunice, and Harvey Korman was Ed, but they didn't stay on the show through Mama's Family the whole time. I wish they would have, because they made the show what it was. But in any event, I mean, Vicki Lawrence is still an amazing singer and an actress and a comedian. As a matter of fact, I think it was last year, or a couple years ago, Vicki Lawrence came to the State Theater in Bay City, and we went to see her.
She's beautiful.
And she sang The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia, and she came out in her Mama Harper getup.
And I hollered out.
And my dad, because we were sitting close to the stage, close enough, and my dad yells out, he says, "Hello, Mother Harper!" Like that, like Tim Conway used to say, "Mother Harper!" You know, in the sketch, in the sketches, and everybody looks at Dad, and
She looks down at me.
and yeah, Vicki Lawrence is just, she was amazing. But they showed a blooper reel from Mama's Family when Carol Burnett was Eunice and Harvey Korman was Ed, and Dorothy Lyman was Naomi.
Yeah, that was cool.
And they even showed clips of Beverly Archer, Iola Boylan, for those of you who remember who Iola Boylan is.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name was Beverly Archer. So yeah, tonight at 8 o'clock, check your local listings on CBS, 8 o'clock Eastern. It is the Carol Burnett Show 50th Anniversary Special. And that's all I have to say about that. But anywho, I am joined off camera this morning, or this afternoon rather, by my dad and Amy.
Hello.
Hello.
They're drinking coffee, smoking cigarettes, waking up, getting a start on the day.
Yeah. Late start.
Yeah, late start. But I've been up since, I'd say, 10 o'clock. I took a quick bath and got dressed, and now I'm here drinking my third cup of coffee and representing Sparties. East Lansing represent all the way. So for those of you who have been wondering, some of you know that I've kind of been feeling down and out lately, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. It's not just because of the Christmas holiday that gets me down. I think for me, because, you know, Christmas is a time where people are giving and they're joyous and they're supposed to be together and understanding, you know, fellow man, celebrating, you know, what do you call that, humanity and just you're together.
For us, it's not like that.
And well, for me, I mean, Christmas has something to do with that. For me lately, why I've been so down and out is because it's a pain that you don't forget. When you help people and they don't appreciate it, they are ungrateful and selfish, and they just don't care about anyone but themselves. And I have helped a lot of people. Dad knows that. Dad's helped a lot of people. Because that's just the kind of people we are. We help people when someone's in need, or even if they're not in need. We want to do something nice for somebody. Hey, we're there. That's how I was raised. And
St. John's.
and so, but my point is it's a pain you don't forget, because it blows up in your face when you help people and they just don't appreciate anything you do for them. That hurts. And I don't forget that pain. And every so often, the reality of that comes back. And there's times when I'll sit in my room with the door shut and I'll just have a good cry. I'll have a good meltdown. And, I'm still in the middle of writing a poem called Toy Drive, which I started on November the 6th, and here it is already December the 3rd. Just a slowpoke. But I will get that done soon. But it's depressing when you help people who just never appreciated you. They take you for granted. Having a big heart is not always a good thing. It's wonderful to help people, to pay it forward, and to help strangers. But at the same time, it can be a curse. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to stop helping people. It's just the pain that you don't forget. Those people that I really and truly cared about and loved very much want nothing to do with me anymore. And that hurts. Because the truth of that is the people that I've helped, majority of the people that I've helped, their kids are also childhood cancer warriors, just like I am. And, as a matter of fact, I want to get my dad's opinion on this when he gets a minute. Because they although they're whispering, you can still hear them. Dad.
Because she got hold of the lit fucking cigarette.
Dad, can you come here? I want your opinion. Actually, it's not an opinion, it's a fact. Just kind of tell everybody what you remember from when I was sick.
When you were sick?
In Lansing, at Sparrow.
It was chaos. It was going back and forth and everything, and didn't know how we were going to get there. Thank God we had our pastor let us use his van. He filled it up for us, and a lot of my relatives didn't even come around and ask us if we needed help, but we're there to help everyone else. And that, to this day, I hardly see any of my relatives. The only ones that comes around is my uncle, and he does, because his girlfriend passed away, and he needs somebody to talk to and help, and we're there for him. Helping him out with his bills and stuff, figuring him out for him, what he's got to pay and everything else. But as far as my other uncles and aunts and that, they live 4 miles from me, or a few miles, they don't come around. My brother, my youngest brother, we're the only ones that really talk. So, and my brother, oldest brother, we talk and that, we see each other and that. My sister, she don't come around at all. So.
No, okay, but kind of talk.
Kids going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went through quite a bit of stuff. A lot of people don't understand that they always say, well, we know what you're going through. We know how it is. No, you don't.
Not until you've gone through it yourself.
Exactly. If you've never been through it, if you've never had a child that had cancer or lost a child, I don't know what it is to lose a child because I never have. I can't say I know how people feel because I don't. That's the honest God. I don't know how they feel.
And
as far as my son having cancer, and when people tell me that a child has cancer, like Walden's tumor or something.
Any cancer,
I know how they feel. I know exactly how they feel. It tears you up inside. You don't know what's going to happen. You live one day at a time, and hopefully they get better and better.
And with Christmas coming up, it may be harder, particularly harder for the parents, whether their child passed away or they're fighting or they survived.
Exactly. It's still hard. It's still hard because you've got the bills you got to pay and everything, and
but it's just
you don't know.
Well, I mean, like when the child passes away,
Yeah.
and you said we don't know what that's
No,
like.
I don't know what that's like. I could just only imagine, but I don't know how it feels.
And it would be dishonest to say
Yeah.
that we do know how it feels.
So whoever says that they know how it feels to have their child and they don't have children, no. If they don't have no children, they don't know what it feels like to have their child go through that.
Don't let
Or the parents.
don't let anybody who has never been through that tell you that they know what it's like.
Yeah, because
They don't.
They're wrong.
They're wrong.
Exactly. But I'm gonna have my coffee. You folks have a good day and everything, and happy holidays to you.
Oh, I'll be doing more videos. I do these every Sunday,
Yeah.
so there'll be plenty of Sundays before Christmas. So I'm sure
Right.
they'll be seeing you again because we can't
Right.
see them,
Right.
but they'll see us.
All right. You all have a good day. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye, bud.
I love you.
Love you too, bud.
And there you have it. I just wanted to get my dad's input on, what it's like for us families who are affected by childhood cancer. And like he said, and I've always said this, that if you've never been through that, you should not say that you know what it's like, because you don't. There is no way that you could know. And one of the things that I should also point out that Dad didn't mention is, especially around the holidays, how they want you to donate money to causes, which you should do that all year round, I would say, not just for the sake of the holiday. But we see the commercials for St. Jude, and this isn't a put down to St. Jude because it's a hospital that I respect very much. But they show these commercials of kids who are bald and they're smiling and they're in their hospital gowns, and they show pictures where they're video clips rather, where they are walking down the aisle with their IV pole. That, and I'm going to be honest with you, that is just a small fraction of what really goes on behind the curtain.
They don't
A
show you.
small fraction. There is so much more to this fight, to this battle, to this disgusting disease. There is so much more to it than what you see in the commercial. And like I said, it's no disrespect to St. Jude. I love St. Jude dearly. But obviously, you can only fit so much into one commercial.
They're not telling you the true facts.
And, well, no, they're telling you the true facts. They're not misrepresenting anything.
They're not.
But they're not putting out there fully, like, the things that you don't see. And there's no way. I mean, there's possibly no way that they could, because of the HIPAA laws. You can't be in violation of HIPAA laws, the protection of the patients. I mean, now they can pull the children aside and say, well, give us your opinion about childhood cancer, although it's not an opinion. I dare say it's a fact that childhood cancer is disgusting. And when these kids give their own personal stories and their own facts and their own just their testimonials, their this is us.
Bring tears to your eyes.
It brings tears to your eyes, but it also, what it does is it generates a certain motivation that you want to help and you want to give back.
I was going to give my kidney to you.
What's that?
I was going to give my kidney to you.
My dad was going to donate his kidney to me.
Yep.
But I've lived with one kidney since 1989.
Yep. Doing great.
And I'm doing good. I'm for the most part, I'm doing okay. But when it comes to the commercials, and I'm not denouncing this, St. Jude is a very well-respected hospital where they research. But like I said, there is much more to it than what you see in the commercials. And it is no disrespect to St. Jude, because St. Jude is a hospital. They are a research hospital. Just much like Sparrow, they have because MSU, Michigan State University, which Dr. Scott and Dr. Gira and Dr. Kulkarni are MSU graduates. They're my pediatric oncologists, by the way.
Great people.
They are awesome people. And Sparrow has teamed up with MSU. So if you're from Lansing, Michigan, or if you ever visit Michigan and you should happen to pass through Lansing,
Check out the hospital.
you're gonna find out that there's a clinic across the street from Sparrow on Michigan Avenue. It's called the Pediatric Subspecialties Clinic, and I had taken some video footage and I made a short video of MSU, the Pediatric Subspecialties Clinic, when I was visiting Caleb Becker a couple weeks ago. I think it was. It's been a couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
And I was standing outside with his dad because his dad was just getting some air. He says, I just need to get some air. And I said, okay, I'll walk out with you and just kind of talk with you. And but we were standing outside just kind of shooting the breeze a little bit. And I had taken some video footage of the subspecialties, and you can see the skywalk from Sparrow over to the clinic. And that clinic is where my pediatric oncologists are. And that's those same two, there's two of the three oncologists that Caleb Becker sees. That's Dr. Scott and Dr. Gira. And there is another, we have another friend who lives in Montrose. She is a beekeeper. She's into that. Her son is also a childhood cancer survivor. He battled back in 1981. And his doctors were Dr. Kulkarni and Dr. Scott. So between the three of us, and by the way, mind you, his or her son is, I think, in his 40s now. So mind you, between that gentleman, little Caleb, and myself, we have all been seen by the three pediatric oncologists. I had all three at the same time, while Dr. Scott and Dr. Gira see Caleb, and the guy that his mom lives in Montrose, he was seen by Dr. Kulkarni and Dr. Scott. So I had all three at the same time. But I was going to East Lansing to see the three.
Once a week.
Yeah, well, it started out like 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And then it would dwindle down to maybe twice a week, once a week, then 3 times a month, twice a month, once a month. And you know, it's amazing because I can remember sitting on his lap when I was 5, 6 years old when I had to get labs done. And I'd have Jared Bear with me. And we would be, and I've shared this story before, but we were in the waiting room. And they had a fish aquarium that was built into the wall. You remember those goldfish?
Yeah.
Big goldfish. And I would be crying before they even called my name because I knew what that long L word, laboratory. I knew what was going to come. It was that long L word. You just don't forget things like that. And so I'm in the waiting room with Mom and Dad, and I had my Jerry Bear with me, and I had my little, my little armband that had my name and my information and everything. They'd call my name, I'd start screaming. Dad would pick me up, and I'd be kicking and screaming the entire way. And we would sit in the lab chair where the armrest comes across. And I would have to hold my arm out. It'd always be this arm, and the needle would go like right in there at the bend of the arm, the little 25 gauge butterfly needle. And, there's times I can remember when the nurses would say, come on, Bear. The sooner we get this done, the better. And I'd be screaming, they put the tourniquet on and they'd do the little alcohol thing and they'd take the butterfly needle out of the package and I'd start just screaming harder. And the nurse would always say, my dad would be sitting there, of course, because I'd be sitting on his lap. And he'd say, son, they didn't even put the needle in your arm yet. And I just didn't like needles. I still kind of cringe a little bit at needles. And the nurse would say, okay, Bear, we're going to count to 3. And on 3, we're going to do this mosquito bite. And it's going to hurt for a minute. But they would get down, eye level to me. They would actually get down, like kneel down and get eye level with me. And they said, you're tough. You can do this. You're Jer Bear. They call you Bear for a reason. Let's do this thing. And 1, 2, 3 mosquito bite. I would let out a big scream. I watched the blood pass through the cath from the needle into the vial. And Dad would always say, Jared, check it out, man. That's your blood. It's going through the cath, you know. And then I'd just kind of sit there and stare at it. And I'd sniffles, you know. And the nurse would say, see, you did a great job. You were so great, you know. And there was even a nurse that actually cried with me.
Yeah.
She cried. She says, I'm not trying to hurt you, baby, you know, but we got to get this done. And, yeah, I remember that.
We got a cat fight out there.
I remember that.
Sounds like there's a cat fight outside.
But anyway, yeah, so that's one memory of East Lansing that I'm always going to have. And I'm sure Dad will never forget that either. But anywho, yeah, that's just one memory I have. Among many memories. I don't know how they do x-rays now, but I remember I would always have to take my shirt off. And I think that's mandatory with x-rays. You have to take your shirt off.
Yeah.
But I had to press my bare back against that cold board.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like a bullseye. You know, because I had the lines, like the symmetrical lines,
Yeah.
you know, with the big circle.
Yep.
And I always had to push my cold bare back against that board, and I would flinch every time.
I hate them.
And they would say, hold still. Yeah, it was kind of, you know, made you flinch a little bit.
Yep.
And they would always say, you know, hold still. You know, the radiologist would say, take a breath, hold still. And they'd snap a picture. I don't know how they do it now. The technology has changed.
It's the same way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because I haven't had an x-ray done in forever.
Yep, it's the same way.
And you would see it'd be a great big flash, like lightning kind of, like a flash in the room. And the x-ray tech would, you know, take pictures, and then they would put it up inside of the thing that lights up on the board and see what it is. And I never thought of this before, Dad, but I know why they were taking x-rays of my chest and my heart.
Right.
Because I took Doxy.
Yeah.
Doxorubicin, they call it the Red Devil. It is a chemo drug. It is very, very nasty on the heart. And I found this out. I did a Google search. And we didn't have Google back then, folks. Different times. But I found out that's why they would always do x-rays on my chest, because that one chemo drug, the Red Devil, doxorubicin, it's lethal to the heart. And they wanted to make sure that my heart was still in good working condition. So that's how I knew that, or that's how I found out, rather, that that's why they always did chest x-rays. And they always, you know, of course they always did labs, because they just wanted to make sure that I didn't have, you know, leukemia or some other type of cancer that is in the blood. They wanted to check my blood count. And, you know, I mean, there's a reason for every test that they conduct. If you are a parent of a cancer warrior and you've had to watch your children go through the same thing like my dad did, then you know there is a reason why they do the test. They just want to make sure that your child is okay. They have your child's best interest at heart. And although I was really too little to really understand why are they poking me with needles all the time, they were doing it for my own good. They just wanted to make sure I was okay. And, you know, you can't really be, I mean, you can question, like, okay, well, why are you running this test? Well, we're running this test just to make sure that such and such is okay. And okay, you know, because my parents would even question, okay, well, what's the reason for this? I mean, I remember going into the clinic and the waiting room in East Lansing there, and we would always get referrals to go to the different Sparrow clinics in Lansing, because there's the main hospital. Then you've got the St. Lawrence campus, which is on Saginaw Street, which I've been there a few times. There are different campuses or branch clinics in Lansing, and I would always get referrals to go to those, or I would go to, I'd have everything done at the radiology department at the MSU clinic in East Lansing. But anywho, I've rambled on quite a bit about memories of my battle, or should I say the checkups, because I don't remember anything from the battle. And that's what I was hoping to get some input on Dad, because, you know, as much as parents try to forget things like that, it's always good to share the memories, because it's educational for other parents who are just now going through this, or they've been going through this for a while, and they can get kind of an idea of what to expect. So Dad, I need you for a minute. I need to borrow you one more time. So I think I was shooting for this the last time you were over here. I'll let you get on camera here.
Okay.
So
Let me get my light.
I know old age is creeping up to you.
Say what?
Anyway, what? So I mean, when I was little and I was battling,
Yeah.
do you remember anything specifically from my battle? Like how I looked?
Yeah, I remember when you had it, when they did it, and helped you do the surgery on you. When you walked in the room, you looked like a robot.
A robot.
A robot. You had the wires hooked up to you. You had IVs in you and everything. And I walked in there. I'm like, what's up? And even Mom, says, oh my gosh, But you look like a little robot. We asked me how long did you have to be like that? And there's so many questions that we ask. There's some I don't remember because it's a while ago. And, but yeah, again, if you've never been in that situation, you don't know what it's like. It's a very scary thing. You come home, you lay down, or you just come home, lay down for a second, you're right back up again. Gotta go to the hospital. And that's where we ended up. Back to the hospital all day, all night, and everything, And, yeah, and then you wonder, how am I going to get there tomorrow? Then you try to work things out, figure out, how am I going to get there tomorrow? Sometimes they stay right up there all night long, for 2 or 3 days at a time. But yeah, that's about what I remember of it.
And I remember you said that you remember how my eyes were pink. They were discolored from the chemo.
Yep, they were too.
See, because you and Mom could give a better description.
Yeah.
And I know, because I've asked Mom questions about this, and she says, well, it's too painful for me to talk about. I understand that, and I do, how it's painful for you and Mom to talk about it. Mm-hmm. But for educational reasons.
Yeah. But that's why Jared got this whole thing going with talking to people and that. It gives them an idea what he's been through and what his parents been through, me and his mother. It gives other people the hope and stuff that, okay, this is what we have to look forward to. And anytime anyone needs to call Jared's number, I'm sure. And if you need somebody to talk to, call me. I'll talk to you. Mm-hmm. We'll both talk to you and explain things to you. That's what, if you want, fine, do it.
And they have.
Anytime, any day, any time of the day. Mid-morning, 3 in the morning, it don't matter. Call us, we'll talk to you.
Yep.
Because we've all been there.
That's right.
Don't be afraid to call. We'll talk.
Yep, we'll talk.
Okay. I gotta get up.
I know, I feel your pain. Well, I don't feel your pain. I'm sorry.
I know it. Here, you won't.
He's going to strangle me on camera, folks. You're witnesses to that. But anytime. And I've been wanting to get Dad's input on that for the longest time. Because if any two people would actually remember, it would be them being in the room all the time. And like he said, you lay down, get right back up again. Got to go to the hospital with Jared.
times I never slept for 3 days. I was up there.
He didn't sleep for 3 days because he was in Lansing.
Time to come home and change clothes.
Time to come home, change clothes, and
Take off again.
take off again. And
Right back up there.
you know, and when I went to see Caleb, because Dusty, his mom, is subscribed to my channel.
He's cool.
We love Caleb so much. I mean, he's my buddy. He's my dude. You know, when I went to Sparrow to see Caleb, it was like kind of like deja vu. Only when I looked at Caleb, and I don't know how this would ever be possible because I don't remember my battle, but I was sitting at bedside with Caleb, and we were watching cartoons, and I looked at him and I looked at his mom, and I kind of thought for a minute, like, you know, this was my mom and dad. This was me at one time. And not to, you know, I'm not trying to sound like an egocentric, narcissistic buffoon, but it kind of...
Made you think what we went through.
Yeah.
What me and Mom went through.
It gave me an idea. Because Caleb is only 4 years old and I was only 2. You know, we were both very little, very young. And
Babies.
yeah, babies. Yeah.
Still babies.
And guys like me and Caleb, I mean, we had to learn early on about our own strength. And that's not to say that the children who have passed, it's not to say that they didn't fight hard enough. It's not to say that they weren't strong enough. They were. They didn't deserve. No child deserves that. And it's not to take away from their fight and how strong and brave and courageous they were. And it's heartbreaking to me. But when I was here with Caleb, it was kind of, you know, it kind of opened my eyes. Even when I went to see Grant at U of M in Ann Arbor. You know, when I was in that rec room, because we went and had pizza. I think I talked about this in last week's video. But they had a pizza party, and they have a pizza party every Thursday at U of M. And I was asked to join them, and I did. And I looked around, and there was a little boy with red hair and freckles. And he was in the back of or he wasn't in the back. He was actually in a toy taxi, like a taxi, you know, like a little Tykes, you know, like a Jeep kind of a thing, but it was a taxi. And one of the child life workers was pushing him around. He had an IV pole in the back of the taxi, and he was just the sweetest little kid ever. I looked at him, I said, well, hi there, dude, how are you? And he smiled, and he waved, and then there was another child in there who, you know, they were wearing the hospital gown, and they were walking around with the IV pole, and they were sitting with their mom and dad, the child was. And again, it hit me. Like, okay, that was my mom and dad with me. And I got emotional. I started to, you know, I just kind of put my head down and, you know, just kind of grunting and it's like, not now. But reality hits you in places that you wouldn't expect, and at times you wouldn't expect. But it is a reality that, wow. And that's why Dad said, and I will always say, that anytime you need to talk to us, my email address is in my YouTube profile. You can email me, contact me, and say, Jared.
Or if you're close by our hometown,
Yes.
call us and we'll go have coffee.
Yeah, if you live in the Chesaning area, like within the vicinity of Chesaning or anywhere, give us a call. We'll go have coffee somewhere. We can talk.
Coffee talk. And
Get to know each other. We'll keep in touch. But yeah, it is.
It's not all being a big shot. It's all of being a friend.
Right. It's not about notoriety. It's not about
It's about
popularity.
being there for a friend that has a child that
Right.
has that.
Right. It's about a personal understanding and knowledge and education about this that we know.
Might give them an understanding about it.
Yes. And we can have these talks anytime. Anytime. My email address, like I said, it's in my profile on YouTube in the About tab. Get a hold of us. My dad still has Facebook. I don't have Facebook anymore, but I'm sure if you reached out to my dad on a private message, he would be more than happy to have a discussion. And call him on the phone or talk to me, talk to him, whoever.
You talk to me, I'm on there. You're on there most of the time.
I'm not, you are. But it's
I'm not.
it's one of those things, it is, because nobody ever asked for this. I didn't ask for this. Dad didn't ask for this. My mom didn't ask for this. It's something that happens to people. And because it happens, and there are plenty of us out there who have survived this, whether it be a warrior like myself or being a parent of a warrior, we've all survived it. We're on the other side. And if you are a newcomer, and you're just now, if your child was diagnosed, and you're just looking for support, please contact us.
Yeah, we're there for you.
We'll always be there for you. And, and this is one of the things I was talking about early on in this video, about how people are ungrateful and selfish. And my biggest fear is that the behavior of those people, how they've treated me, my fear is that one day I'm just going to get so fed up and tired of reaching out that I don't want to do it anymore. But I don't think...
That's not you.
Right. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could turn my back on
That's
people.
Not you. You're not that type of person.
I couldn't turn my back. I couldn't do what they did to me. I couldn't turn my back on people the way they turned their back on me.
Not in your nature.
But that's one of the things that I absolutely dread, because that is just not who I am. In spite of the fact that I have haters, there's people who are against me. But, I take it in stride, and I look at it this way. The reason I have people against me is because I actually said something that was worth the damn to say. I actually said something that meant something to someone. It hit someone in a sensitive spot. I speak the truth about the good things, the bad things, and everything else in between. It's no BS. It is what it is. And I have a whole bunch of people who are against me now. Well, I'm sorry that they made that decision. But being the kind of person I am, my door is always open to them. If they realize that they were wrong in treating me the way that they did, which they are, but when they realize that, when they come to that realization, they can say, Jared, I'm sorry I treated you this way. I didn't see this before. Would you accept my apology? Of course. Of course I will.
Well, have a good explanation why you did it.
Yeah, I just want to know why you would believe what people tell you. And that's the trouble with Facebook is well, it's on Facebook, so it must be true.
Tammy.
Well, you must be wrong, because it's not always true. It's not always the case. I've talked about that a lot too. Why I just have no desire for Facebook. A lot of people are asking me to come back because I'm doing so much good for the kids. I'm trying. All I can do is try. There's a bird shirt that I just had designed, and it's being sent to a cancer warrior who lives in Arlington, Texas. And I just put in 3 more orders for bird shirts on Friday. So,
Dad's trying to tell you Carol Burnett was on TV.
huh?
Dad was trying to tell you Carol Burnett was on
50th
TV.
anniversary.
Oh, Carol Burnett was on TV. Yeah, tonight is her 50th anniversary special on CBS. 8 o'clock tonight. Don't forget. But anyway, I'm just so far beyond talking about the haters and the negativity I get from people. Oh, and which, by the way, I'm threatening to be sued. I'm not going to get into that because, you know, I don't want to give people any more ammunition than what they should have. But, yeah, there's people out there looking to, yeah. It's because I say something that's actually, it's actually worth the while. And people don't like truth. Truth is painful.
And if they ask for your opinion, if they want your opinion, you're going to give it to them. If they don't like it, then
Yep.
don't ask me your opinion if you don't want my opinion, because I'm going to give it to you.
Yep. And that's true. If you ask me for my opinion, I'm giving it to you straight.
Straight up.
And if you don't like it, take a walk.
Yep.
You know? I love you and I wish the best for you, but
Don't ask my opinion.
if you don't like what I tell you, then just leave well enough alone.
Then you shouldn't have asked me in the first place.
Right. But anyway, I had some assistance with this week's video update.
And go up there and work on that.
It's not every day I have Dad join me for some commentary. They talk low, but I'm pretty sure you can still hear them off camera. That's all right. That's okay. It's nice to have someone sitting. You know, I might want to have Jay join me in one of these videos.
Yeah, you could.
And the reason being for that, and I don't want to get too personal, but my brother had a drug problem.
I don't know if you do it though, son.
And, well, you know, he could be a pillar of inspiration to other people who are having this kind of a problem.
Right.
And that's why I would like him to be a guest on one of my Sunday videos. Because he was into drugs. He is, 21 months?
24 almost.
24 months clean.
Yeah.
And Jay, if you're watching, I'm proud of you, bro. I love you, and keep on the up and up. You got me and Dad, and Kara too.
They got me too.
And Amy, and give the babies hugs and kisses for us. But I would like to have my brother join me so we can talk about, or so he can open up, because I've never been down that road. He can't relate to me about what it's like to have cancer, and I can't relate to him about what it's like to have a drug problem. But he has come a long way. 24 months, it's 2 years. 2 years that he's been clean, and I'm so proud of him. He is, you know, my brother and I, we haven't always gotten along. And it could have very well been for that reason. I think it's because Jay and I are two totally different people. We have the same mom and dad, but we are two totally different individuals. We have different personalities. Just like my oldest brother, Wayne, who lives in Saginaw. He's lived in Saginaw all of his life. Jay and I, we were raised in the country. We're country boys. But the three of us, I mean, you know, Wayne is a half-brother, but he's still a brother. But we are completely, entirely different individuals. We have our own styles, our own tastes, our own likes and dislikes. And when we're seen together, me and Dad and my two brothers, when we're all seen together in public, and they say, well, I take it that these are your boys, referring to me and Jay and Wayne, and yeah, we're all brothers, you know, and are you sure you're brothers? Because you don't act alike. You know, you're like night and day to one another. And it's like, well, it's because we are individuals of our own kind. You know, I didn't see a lot of my brother Wayne growing up because he lived in Saginaw with his mom. And and when my dad was in the Army, he didn't really see much of Wayne. And I'm hoping that some changes can be made where all of us, my dad and my brothers and myself, can all get together and spend some time together, father and son time, and just kind of get that bond. Because like I said, there was a moment in time where Jay and I, we just did not get along. And it took for him to hit rock bottom. And he's my brother. I'm going to be there for him. I may not like a lot of the things he's done, but I'm there for him. He's my brother. And I want to be there for him as much as I can. I mean, he would come here at the house, and he would be, going through his withdrawals from not having it, and I would get scared. I would panic. But I knew what to do. I was given a certain set of directions on how to handle certain situations. And he would be on the living room couch, and he would be like shaking, going through withdrawals, going through the DTs. And it scared the living hell out of me. But he went through that, and he had us, and he'll always have us. And that goes for Wayne too. Wayne doesn't have a drug problem, and he's never had a drug problem, but it's just the idea that Wayne lives in Saginaw, and I don't see Wayne as often as I'd like to. We were even talking about maybe going down to Kentucky sometime. He had mentioned it to me, and I said, yeah, I'd love to go to Kentucky. I've never been to Kentucky before. And so I'm just waiting to see what he has to say about that. I'm waiting for him to get back with me on that, because I'd love to go on a trip with my brother and spend some quality time together with Wayne. And, I think it'd be great. But anyway, guys, I have been here for over an hour. Holy moly. That's okay. It was a good video this week. Finn, congratulations on being 3 years in remission. And Camden, congratulations on being 2 years NED of Wilms tumor. I love you both, and I'm always going to be happy for you. I'm always going to be proud of you. And I am even more so grateful for having the opportunity to have communication and connection with their parents and with the warrior. Like I said, and like Dad said, call, email, private message, do whatever you have to do. I don't have Facebook anymore, but you can private message my dad, you can call my dad, you can text me, email me, call me, anytime. Don't be a stranger. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wait for Dad to come in here one last time to say goodbye before I hit the stop button and upload to my YouTube channel. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's where I'm at in my life. I'm doing okay. I'm still, I have my good days and bad days, just like anybody else, just like any of you. And we work through it. We get through the good, and we're thankful for the bad, in the sense that we can learn from the bad days. And, I'm just glad to be here another day with the people I love and the people I care about and the people that want to talk to me and keep the communication open. And so, Dad, you want to come over here and say bye? No, I mean, they want to. They already know who you are.
Okay. Hey guys, hope you all have a good day today, and keep you in our prayers. And if you need to talk, get a hold of us on here, or call the phone number, get a hold of Jared, and we'll talk. We'll keep in touch.
Sure.
Everybody, we're there for you.
We're good people.
Yep.
I promise.
We're all good people.
We don't bite.
Nah, just nibble. With what teeth I got. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Dad, for joining me this week. Guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to wrap this up. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. I don't know if I'm going to be here for an hour. This was kind of one of those moments where I got carried away with the time. But I'm out of here. So, much love, peace out, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week.